worth $1 a pound was mixed with candy worth $2 a pound to produce a mixture worth $1.50 a pound. How many pounds of each kind of candy were used to make 20 pounds of the mixture? We are going to be focusing on word problems with systems of equations. So let's look at this. If we have candy that's worth $1 and we're adding to it candy that's worth $2. So this is $1 a pound, $2 a pound, because these are two different kinds of candy, so we need to use two different types of variables. We're mixing these together to get a mixture that's worth $1.50 a pound. And we're going to get 20 pounds of it, okay? So this is how we're going to figure out, this is one equation to figure out how much each pound we use of each different type of candy. The other equation is going to be our total is 20. We don't know how much we're adding of the first candy. We don't know how much we're adding of the second candy, but we know we're getting 20 pounds of it. So we can solve this using either elimination or substitution. Since I have both of my x's have a coefficient of 1, I'm going to actually use elimination, but you can do it either way. So I'm going to multiply this first equation by -1. -1 times x is -x. -1 times 2y is -2y. And -1 times $1.50 times 20. $1.50 times 20 is going to be 30. So that's going to be -30. When I add these together, x minus -x, those cancel out. Y minus 2y is -y. 20 minus 30 is -10. Whenever we are trying to isolate a variable, we cannot have a negative sign in front of our variable. So when we have those, we need to divide by -1 on both sides. So that a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive, and that will change the sign of its solution. So we had to get 10 pounds of the second type of candy, and let's plug that back in to one of our equations to figure out our second type, or our first type of candy. Subtract 10 from both sides, and x equals 10. When you're given a word problem, you need to answer using words. The mixture contains 10 pounds of the first candy and 10 pounds of the second candy. It just so happened to be that this mixture was half and half, but if I were to use different numbers, of course I would get different amounts of each type of candy. That's just how it just so happened to work out this way. Alright, number 2, the perimeter of a rectangle is 42. The length of the rectangle is 3 inches more than the width. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So we have a rectangle whose perimeter is 42 inches. How do you find the perimeter of a rectangle? Not length times width, that's area. Bryson? Length times height is the same thing as length times width. Mark?
I had it in my head now. I forgot.
Javon? Yeah, you add up all the sides. You got your length, your width, your length, and your width. If you have a security guard that secures the perimeter, he's walking around the outside of the building. So we have length plus width plus length plus width equals 42. Surely there's a better way to write that. How else can I write that? Not squared. Squared is multiplying. Not squared, that's multiplying.
It's not 2.
I've got 2 lengths plus 2 widths. So that's my first equation. The length of the rectangle is 3 inches more than the width. So the length is 3 inches more than the width. Which we like to write our variables first, so we're going to write that as W, the width, plus 3 inches. So now I can solve this. I'm going to solve this using substitution. I'm going to take what the length equals and substitute length in the other equation for that. We got 2 length. Length is width plus 3 plus 2 width equals 42. 2 times W is 2W. 2 times 6 is 6. Bring everything else down. 2W plus 2W is 4W. When I subtract 6 from both sides, 4W equals 36. To get W by itself, I divide by 4. And my width is 9 inches. To find my length, I plug that W back in to one of my original equations. Length equals width, which is 9, plus 3, which is 12 inches. And we can check that. 12 plus 12 is 24. 9 plus 9 is 18. And 24 plus 18 is 42. Again, we have to answer using words, so my words would be the length of the rectangle is 12 inches, and the width is 9